Grand Rising. I hope that you guys are having a great Monday or Sunday, wherever you are located in the world. I just want to talk to you about something important is being honest and being truthful, dishonoring our elders or the ancestors. I know a lot of times we as a people want to need to honor our ancestors and our elders, the ones that's amongst us, as well as the ones that are no longer with us. But I just want to ask you a question. Is it dishonorable to be honest about the shortcomings, the failures, and the mistakes, sins, or crimes of our ancestors or elders? I say that it's not dishonest, or dishonorable rather, or it is not dishonorable to acknowledge and be transparent and tell the truth that our ancestors made mistakes. Our ancestors weren't always right. They made mistakes. They were human beings. They were spirit beings having a human experience. And as a result, they made some mistakes. And I believe that the way that we can honor the ancestors and our elders, even that made mistakes, is to be open and honest and transparent about the mistakes that they've made, hmm? And learn from them. If we refuse to acknowledge that those of us, those that lived before us on this earth, made mistakes, then we won't learn from their lessons and we won't be able to truly honor all of who they were, because we are setting them up and making them idols. I don't believe that we should do that. I think it's unwise. Okay? Yes, I'm at a gravesite. I don't know if you guys can see that. What's left of a gravesite. I am at the gravesite, one of the oldest African American grave sites in Tennessee, probably in the country. Was set up or created, dates back to the 1880s, about 20 years or so after the Civil War. I've learned that this is called the Oddfellows Cemetery. Apparently, in this little plot of land, I don't know if you could see it, are supposed to be the remains of 6,000 African Americans. Amongst the notable African Americans in Tennessee that are buried here, the late Cal, I believe his name was Cal Williams or Cal Johnson. He was the first millionaire, the first black millionaire in Knoxville. And there was also William Yardley. He was a gubernatorial candidate, one of the first black ones in Knoxville. Again, in the 1880s, 1890s, somewhere along that line. You know that they don't really keep good records when it comes to what we did and what our ancestors did. Honestly, I don't know if you can see the circumference of or the dimensions of this cemetery, but there's no way that 6,000, I don't believe that that's all of the cemetery. I have my own theories. I'm not going to say what they are right now, but I will say that the cemetery spans a whole lot more than this little plot of land right here. It's supposed to be the Odd Fellows Cemetery, spans 6 acres. Y'all, I'm not a geographical expert, but this is more than 6. This is not 6 acres. So you know, if you are from Knoxville and you know this area that I'm speaking of, You guys probably already know where I'm going with this. But anyway, uh, that hiccup, if you will, in terms of the true dimensions of the Oddfellow Cemetery, which is supposed to be the oldest, one of the oldest African American cemeteries in the country, um, that was not. I don't believe it was due to the mistakes of our ancestors. I just believe that was a deliberate attempt at diminishing the amount of loss. This, and if I can go back a little bit with history, um, our ancestors couldn't be buried with their ancestors, as you well know, because of segregation and what have you. And so they had to set up a burial site for all the black people, all the soldiers from the Civil War, the black soldiers that died. They couldn't bury them in the Confederate, Knoxville Confederate Cemetery because, yeah. So they buried them, some of them, here. Okay? So, as far as the cover up, that's what I'm calling it, a cover up as to the true dimensions and the true land, the true cemetery where our ancestors were buried. That was not the fault of our ancestors, that was a deliberate cover up. But our ancestors made the mistake of allowing this to happen for whatever reason. They allowed history to be buried. Hmm? They allowed history to be erased just for a few morsels of bread and a seat at the table. And it's truly a desecration of us as a people. There are brave African American soldiers that were buried on the ground that I'm standing on right now. There were brave African Americans, period, that were buried here. Hmm? And it wasn't until people made a fuss, our people started making a fuss and saying, hey, let's try to set up some sort of cemetery to honor them. Hmm? So they attempted to. But I don't believe that this little lot of land, this little plot of land, is not 6 acres. 6 acres is the equivalent of 4.5 football fields. Okay? This is not 4.5 football fields, y'all. And for the protection of the people that stay in the area, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm at. If you're from Knoxville, you know where I'm at. But this is not 4.5 football fields. So, what I would say to us as a people is that we need to realize that since we are on sacred land, we are on holy land, we need to honor the soil that we're on. Good morning. We need to honor the soil that we're on. We need to honor the memories of the people who fought, bled, and died for liberties we still don't have, but they tried. And they need to get a little bit of honor. That the most honorable thing we can do for the ancestors that are in the soil is we need to not be doing evil on the soil that they're on. They're in. Their bones are underneath our feet. Don't commit crime on this soil. This is sacred ground. Hmm? That's what they want you to do, so they can say that you're savages, and you're not. Your president called you savages. Prove him to be a liar. Prove them to be a liar. You're not savages. You are standing on the shoulders and the remains and the bones of the ancestors that are saying you can do it. I know that they're trying to oppress you, and they're trying to do things so that this country can be so-called great again. Prove them wrong. Dismantle your gangs. Flush the drugs. Yes, I said it. Stop pimping out your women and children. Hmm? And show them who we really are. They know who we are. You just don't know. Because every time you do evil on sacred land, on holy land, the ancestors are angered. The Most High is angered too. But then the ancestors are stirring the souls and disembodied spirits of ancestors that risk their lives so that you can live. You hear what I'm trying to tell you, right? That little plot of land over there is not 6.5. It's 6 acres. It's not 4.5 football fields. That means you are living on sacred ground. Honor it as such. You guys be blessed in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach.